Hello,
Yay.
everyone. How
Oh,
are you today?
I'm gonna mute for a minute. The dog's going crazy.
Do it. We're gonna get on just to not actually be here. It's all falsities. I'm just getting dice right now. Do we have to like level up our characters or something? Okay.
That is accurate. Yes, that is how we're gonna start today. Um, Normally at the end of every game session, if you're just playing in a long campaign, it's 1 point per game session. But in a speedier, one-shotty kind of mini campaign, I thought we'd double it so that you'd have 2 points to spend. And the place to go to spend those things is that chart of assets, because everything that you do to your character after character creation is purchased as an asset. So once we are, I think Jen is moving, literally carrying the dog like a baby to the dog spot. Anxious dogs on holidays where people come at your door constantly are just, you know,
Yeah, strangers on the porch day is even worse than like loud exploding things in the sky day. This is the worst
Sure.
holiday. Jakey, come on.
yeah, this is our dog's worst nightmare. Like so many people just showing up
Right.
and
And then the
wanting.
kids both left and went out into like the weird people on the porch. So she thinks that they're probably dead now because they went out by all those strangers. It's okay.
Absolutely.
We're gonna make it.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it.
So, to level up characters, to develop your characters, you can zoom to page. If you go to the big PDF that I uploaded, page 249. I've changed in reaction to the first day that we played this together. I changed the way the list is built. Now the list is limits are in one spot, and then all the assets are in another spot. So um, if you go to page 249, that's where the assets start. Um, and you're basically going to have 2 points to spend on any assets that you want, except those that are listed under the character creation section. Those are only available to characters who are not yet played, for starting characters. So you can pick anything except that from that little pouch of them on page 249, 250, 251, and 252. Oh my God, no, it goes to 253 even now. I keep adding assets. I don't know. But some games start have you level up in very specific linear ways, like you get exactly this stat or this thing, and then choices come only every few levels. But this game, every single time that you play, you get one or two of these points to spend, and you can spend them on any asset that you want. So, um, there are, I guess, the one limit is if you pick an item or something that is um, that would need to show up in the story, right? So some of these things you buy and then you get them somehow through the narrative of the story. So, for example, there's like an item of power you can purchase, um, and I guess the cheapest one is 3 points. But if you purchased an item of power, it would have to show up in the narrative of the game somehow, and by you folks buying it, I would then be sort of obliged to make it show up in the story. So if everybody could just pick 2 points worth of stuff to add to your character sheet, starting on page 249, that would be dandy. And just let me know what you choose as you do.
Cassidy had phonographic memory. I'm going to add photographic as well.
Nice. So since there's no cost listed for that, you still have one more point to spend. If you're looking for something like sort of basic, if you don't want to like go out and make your character weirder or something, training, right, adds a skill. And the traits going from 1 to 2, you can spend 2 points to go from 1 to 2 in a trait. Um, those are really common, like the gaining a skill, like something that you did well. You could do a broad skill for 2 points, or a regular skill or focus skill for 1 point.
Hmm.
All right, I'm gonna up security by 1, which is 2 points, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Perfect. You are spent up. And then technically on your character sheet, I mean, I'm not doing serious level of accounting, but your build total would be then 22, right? So then you are, because you've
I
spent.
gotcha.
And if you don't feel like having to go through the thoughts and the decision making process, you could leave them in unspent CP as well. Some players will choose to leave things in unspent CP because um, things might show up in the narrative of the game, and you're like, "Oh, I wish that was mine," or "I like that thing. I want some connection to it," or something, and you can do it within the narrative of the game that way. Um, so either, I mean, you'll have a build total at the end of your spending of 22, or you'll have 2 unspent CP if you don't spend them at all.
Oh, I was looking at Geek Team
Yes,
for Otis
that makes sense.
because yeah, it might give you some story possibilities too. So
Yeah, definitely. So that one doesn't have a cost listed. 249 is where the assets start. I separated the limits out because you guys pointed out that it would be better that way.
so is that a 2-point item or
Nope,
it says
your geek doesn't have any that doesn't have any number after it in the title of it, so it costs 1 point.
so it's a 1. Okay, so I need to pick another one.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna pick Iron Liver.
Nice. Appropriate for the campaign as well.
Yep.
Okay. Jen? You're on mute.
2 minutes in. I'm going to save mine, I think.
Okay.
I'm still a little frazzled from the frantic trick or treat candy porch dog freaking. I need a moment, is what I'm saying. I need a minute.
Okay. Well, if something comes up during the game, you can spend them during the game as well.
Cool.
I think if ever somebody like were to go through and edit these videos, like we could definitely have like a little counter on the bottom, like of some things, and like one of them would be Jen, you're on mute, like a little growing counter.
Yeah. It
Make
would
a
be.
good
There'd be a
DVD.
lot. There'd be a lot.
Okay, and then Casey, were you gonna pick another one, or were you gonna stick with the one that you got?
There was one I was going to pick. Let me just find it again because I was stuck between magnetic social.
Nice.
+1 to social, +1 target number to social roles if given time to talk.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. And then I think a mini recap for just to get everybody back on the same page. Casey, you're my go-to person for that, but if you're not feeling it, I can beg someone else to do it.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
God, I am. So what happened was I was just busking out on the street, and it started to rain out of nowhere. And so I got invited by my friend Otis, who's my go-to when I want that sweet, sweet cactus juice when I don't want to go near those face circles with the cacti and all that. And so I got invited to the really weird tattoo parlor, and well, I figured, you know what? Why not? Let us go inside this tattoo parlor. And fuck it all. It was weirder than expected. We were there for no less than a minute when this fellow came in, looking like he was on the run from something. And on the run he was from this awful Fey woman with a horse named, I believe, Daisy or something along those lines. Or maybe she liked eating daisies. I forget. But I forget, Leia. What's your character's name? Now I don't feel bad about forgetting your character's name. Well, there was this broody fellow and Baby, and she goes by like a million different names, but I think Baby's the easiest one to remember. It's just the second letter twice, so 2-2, you get it. And so we we let the fella go, even though he clearly took something. And this Fey woman came in and was like, "Where is he? Where is he? I'm gonna burn the town down and blah 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 and whatever it is." We were like, "No." And then she put a curse on the door that broody fella just immediately removed, which is kind of impressive. But he needed to sit down immediately, so I guess he could have been cooler about it. I guess. And then we went to we played some sick beats with a dead fella in the cemetery to get some information, and we found the name of the horse and what the horse likes to eat, and we found out that the person that she was after is actually a djinn who stole something from her, and it seems like it's a little bit of a messy situation, some unrequited love and all that, or something of the nature. And so we went over to the mechanic's place where the djinn was staying, and we gaslit him into letting us into his house. And while I was talking with him about the lovely lamp, the rest of the party got some information from the djinn. That's all I remember.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. The other party members that were with the djinn and getting info. What do you remember having gotten from the djinn? He had been playing a whole bunch of video games as you guys walked in, if you recall.
So we've got Gladys of the Bow, who serves the Queen of the Jade Lotus.
Nice.
It,
Good
you know,
note.
she has a magical bow, hence the name. The bow of the chain, but I don't remember what it does. There are 3 rumors. 1, that the Jade Queen doesn't have any power without the djinn. 2, that she might be in love with the djinn. And 3, trying to read my handwriting.
Nice.
Something about her kingdom? I can't. Maybe wronged? Wronged her kingdom somehow? Bananas are the horse's favorite food.
You're not wrong.
What?
You're not wrong. Bananas are the
And,
horse.
and sugar cubes with rose.
Okay.
And I think the horse's name is Belle.
Mhm.
And that's what I got from the notes that I took from the drummer place.
Excellent.
We did talk to the djinn, but my notes stop after the drums, so I don't remember what we got from him, other than probably he's the good guy in this situation.
Was that the general feeling that people had? Was that he was the good guy? That he was the
At,
wronged and he was.
at the very most, one shouldn't be like trying to like keep people enslaved by not using your last wish. Like even if he's not a good guy,
Yeah.
the situation isn't like good.
Yeah, I think the general feeling was we were inclined to intervene, but not altogether. We didn't feel all that great about it, but it seemed inevitable.
Okay. Excellent. And so, I believe then people were going to rest, right, for the evening, for the night. Mostly, people need to get their points back, and it's just not realistic to never go to sleep in a game. So, um, if you rested, and I'm assuming everybody did, you would retrieve any and all of the points that you spent. And does anybody have any scars?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I believe I have th- 2 scars in blood now
Okay,
because I got help from my
excellent.
person. I need to print my sheet is the problem. So I don't have saved stuff, but per my notes, I have 2 more. Two of those left. So it's gonna take 3 days to get rid of those, right?
To get rid of both, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
The first one will disappear after 2 days.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that means that you can only hold up to three. In your case, you can only hold up to 3 blood points this day because the
Yeah.
scar suck up the spot where you can hold the point. Awesome. Anybody else with scars? Everybody mostly okay? I'm just gonna note the scars on my sheet, my version of your sheet. Okay, excellent. Um, and perfect. So, when and where do y'all meet back up? What's the I'm not going to throw another plot thing at you immediately in the morning. I'm going to certainly let what happened happen. So, how do you guys gather next? When are you all together, or are you doing anything specifically towards the storyline? I know so. There you
Is there another locale we could be in?
go.
Did we invent a crappy diner? Because I feel strongly there should be a crappy diner.
Yeah, this place. It's got to be a place to go for coffee. Like a morning place. Yeah.
I'm in the Fairglade thing. Do we have like a? Oh, I mean, we have the red cap, but none of us want to go there.
Right.
No.
We could go to Dapper Dan's Supper Club or Mary's
Yeah.
Diner downtown.
Mary's Diner. There you go.
Perfect.
Warfare Grains Bakery.
I like the diner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to suggest the supper club as ironically the place people go for coffee, but we have a diner, so let's go to the diner.
Okay, excellent. So you go to Marie's Diner. Marie's long dead, several generations ago, but it's still called Marie's. Nothing fancy here. Good wholesome food and really really excellent cheap coffee. Um, right, 50 cents a cup. None of that weird stuff. No foam or espresso, as Carol says. So you get seated into the nice corner booth, um, and you have a beautiful autumn day in front of you. Birds are chirping, and it's relatively cool. I don't know what Tennessee autumns look like really. And only the characters are present. Only player characters are present. Nobody else is here.
It occurs to me I did once visit Knoxville in the autumn, and that's pretty much what it was like. So yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Nice. So I think, yeah, we'll all gather in a booth, collect some of that coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, coffee. All the coffee. So much coffee. Uh,
Carol's happy to oblige, of course. She also has a tray of danishes that she sets out on the counter, um, and it's a nice place. There's nobody else here right now except Carol and it's just not hopping. You guys are maybe here earlier than you usually are because of the buzz. What's going on with the weird gin and the face stuff?
This is very really could have been said out loud already, but do we have the gin with us right now?
I don't think so.
I couldn't remember if we had left him or not.
Yeah, you're not currently together. He is.
Okay, so we have
Yes.
okay. Well, whose side are we on?
That question of whose side we're on sort of lingers like a little, like a hair too long, and then the annoying bell over the diner door opens or dings because some people come in. It's a group of local moms who are um, they're known as the biddies. They are always cackling and complaining about something. So they come in and they're already seated, and they just start complaining about, you can't even tell what. It's somebody hosted a dinner party and it was not well received. They're just harping on some poor woman's house, and her hospitality being lacking, and that fills the air of the diner. Like it's almost like you become bystanders in their train wreck of a conversation.
We got to find a different diner.
Cassidy would just obnoxiously start drumming on the table like all drummers do, with the silverware, essentially trying to be as obnoxious to them.
Yeah. Um,
Trying to drum away the sound of the phrase Chinette plates.
yeah.
DM, I do have a question though. Can Cassidy use his trusted person to try and like text the information that they got yesterday, um, and see what if they could glean any info?
Absolutely. Let's
So
see here.
Cassidy's gonna pull out this like crusty flip phone and pass it over to Leia. I forget your character's name. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's Fisher.
Fisher, right? And pass it over to Fisher with like it's clearly like you're about to send a text message to someone, and he's like, "You remember better than I do," he says, even though he has photographic memory. Can you text what we found out? I have a friend that might be able to look up some stuff for us.
Sure. He'll write out the text.
And you have to like press like if you want to hit O, you got to press 6 3 times, and it's like that type of phone.
Okay. Yeah, he'll write this text out and hand it back to you.
And then he'll send it and go, "This person's real trustworthy. Thanks."
I doubt that, but that's fine.
Oh, what would make you doubt that?
He'll just look you up and down and say nothing else.
Cassidy will like very obviously like pull his shirt and look for stains, but like it's like oops, all stains on his shirt.
He'll look for more recent stains.
Right.
Um, the biddies all stop chattering at the same time as a person walks in the door.
DM, I have to ask for the biddy count. How many biddies are we dealing with?
You're dealing with a flock of biddies, which is 5.
Okay. 5, good. Okay, because 3 I'd worry, but five's okay.
Yeah. The door, the bell jingles again, and a man walks in. He's definitely 6 feet and and sort of lean and tall and dark looking. His eyes, his brow is sort of like he's got extra forehead a little bit, right? He's got that like those deep set eyes. And
Okay, so
he looks like he's scowling, even though his lips don't look like like he's scowling. He just
so
seems.
that means Cumber Squatch walks in too.
um, so yeah, he walks in and he doesn't sit at a table. He sits at the counter where almost nobody ever sits. Um, and he just asks for coffee, like just with the one word. And Carol fills a cup for him, and he drinks and he gives side eye um to the women as they start their chatter back up again. Um, he hasn't paid any attention, any obvious attention to your table. But he's also, and this is a strange thing, a stranger in town. You have not seen this man before. And this diner especially does not usually attract tourists or people that aren't from town. Like this is where the locals eat.
Cassidy would immediately wave the man down to try and have them join the table, with very little regard of how the others feel about it.
Yeah. Having a conversation here, Cassidy. It's all right.
Sorry, I was
So
just
he
trying to promote my music to the newbie in town. It was a marketing opportunity. He puts his hand down.
so
Who
he
just
does.
throws a roll at Cassidy?
Yeah, he's already on his way over at this
Yeah,
point, so it's fine. It's fine.
he's coming over and he takes a chair from one of the other tables because
Sure,
you guys are in a booth, sort of the corner booth, and you're all arrayed,
sure.
spread out enough. So he brings a chair and he flips it backwards so that the back of the chair is in front of him,
Oh, you're
and
sitting
he
like a
brings his hand
bisexual.
over. And
I heard they can't sit in chairs properly.
I've heard that too. I'm Adam, and he holds out a hand for Cassidy.
I know you have a hearty shake. I'm Cassidy, and these are my friends, BB, Fisher, and Otis.
Nice to meet y'all.
What you
So
doing in town?
I don't know what is there to do in this town. I think I accidentally came across this town, which
Nothing
is, as
much.
all of you know, completely impossible. Like there's no
Yeah.
dead end town. To get into this town, you had to leave the freeway, go through the gauntlet, and then get here. And the only way out is to go back the way you came. So there's like no path he could possibly be taking that takes him. You can't go through town. You have to go to town and back out of town.
Mhm.
He he waves down Carol and orders. Um, he calls them flapjacks, which isn't very southern, but he wants a plate of flapjacks. Good maple syrup if you got it. And Carol rolls her eyes and heads back to the kitchen.
Does he look like he's in garb from like our own time and space?
Yeah, but he looks more like a city person to you than
Okay.
a country person. He's got ripped black jeans and like hiking boots, or like like Doc Martens, like the big black chunky. I'm gonna stomp on some people's foot, um, and a gray flannel like rolled up to the sleeves. His right arm has a series of scars along the outside edge of his forearm. They look almost ritualistic in nature, um, because they don't look, or they look intentional in nature at least. And he sits patiently. So what is in this town?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a boring weekend then.
I don't think so.
You're staying the weekend in a town you came across by accident?
Yeah, my bike blew a whatever. I'm not good at this. But the guy at the garage said he can take care of it, but it'll take at least till tomorrow afternoon to get the part in. So I'm sort of stuck.
Can Cassidy use one of his enchantment things to 1 second. There's like a sense emotion one that like he's just trying to like get a vibe to see if this man is like on a hunt, that sort of like calm from that one gets when they're hunting something.
Yeah.
Or if there's like a curiosity or nerves, so but yeah. So
So the check for that one is perception plus enchantment.
yeah. So his perception is 1, enchantment would be 1, correct?
Correct.
Oh, and then I roll 6. So give me 1 second. So the target number would be 2. But just to double check, would his magnetic social work at all? If he was trying to like kind of chat him up a bit and be like, so tell me about yourself. You know what? You said you just rolled in. Have you ever been to a town like this before? Have you been to the shop before? Have you met the fellow that runs that shop? So he's kind of trying to.
So that will help with the social roll. Sense emotion is going to just
Right.
add successes.
Got it.
So do the magic first, and then your magnetic social will definitely help with the roll itself, but not
Okay,
this
so
roll.
that is 2 successes.
Awesome. So now you basically have 2 successes just floating there in the air in front of you, and you can now make a social check. Let me look at your character sheet. You might have a skill that helps. Nope. But you can use your magnetic social plus your social
Okay, so then
as
that
the
will
target
be
number.
5.
Yeah.
That is
And
3
you're going to have,
successes on that
and
one.
then 2 more successes from what you just rolled on the
Mhm.
magic. Awesome. So yeah, you get quite the motion sense out of him. What are you? I'll give you 2 questions, or 2 answers to questions.
So, pretty much, Cassidy wants to know, because he brought up the mechanic essentially, and so he's trying to sense any sort of like tension, as if someone's trying to like hide something, like. So, like, does he know the Jinn is there, and that's his excuse to go there, type of thing? So, does he get the like, does he sense any tension that one would do when they are trying to deceive?
Yeah. So let me look at your.
Omit
You,
slash deceive.
yeah. So you are a channeler. So as you think on this, and as you're talking him up, you get almost like an image of a wolf interposed across this man's body, like as you're talking to him. And then you can almost, I mean, you've got a good imagination. You can see like there are people, like 3 or 4 people, or maybe spirits. You see their hands on him, and they're putting on these big patches of wool over his wolf form, and then they like smooth it out, and it looks just like he looks in the diner. Not at all predator, hunter, or wolf. Just a man.
I love that description so much. That was beautiful.
He is not though, at all.
Yeah, let's appreciate the description and then freak out because there's no werewolf at our table.
And then so at this point he would kind of assume at that point that he is a bit on the hunt. So I'll change the hunt thing and try and perceive how he feels about us. Does he seem to be wary of us?
um, yes,
Werewolfy
he's
of us.
definitely wary of you. He's sussing you out. You don't think his natural inclination was to join some random drummer at a table of friends at a diner. He's taking this, and in fact, you sort of get the sense that he is doing to you exactly what you're doing to him. That he is, though he's not really asking many questions, he's definitely trying. He's making a lot of rolls on his own, trying to figure out you guys, and see what you have to do with this, or with whatever it is he's doing in town. He's definitely checking you guys out. And Carol brings a big plate of pancakes, and he dumps like a hat. She has this like, she doesn't usually serve syrup with her stuff, but she had this like novelty like maple leaf glass jar of syrup from Vermont, and she gives it to him, and he cracks it open, with the plastic off of it, and he dumps literally half the jar on half the bottle onto his flapjacks,
Oh my god.
and starts eating voraciously as he's talking to you guys. Very, very poor table manners.
I feel like Otis would make some remark about the scars, like ask him, or say, "Gosh, those look nasty. Where did those come from? Or how'd you come by those?"
Big knife. And he like shovels more flapjacks, and he says something else, but nobody understands it. Like whatever he added. The dogs are going nuts because they hear there's a wolf in
Literally, I can't hear your dog, so.
there.
I can't either.
Yeah. So yeah, good food here.
Yep.
So where does a man go for dinner? I mean, a man should always like know where he's going to get his dinner from during the day, or it's unsettling, right? So, so y'all are locals. What did I use that right? Y'all. That's a thing y'all say, right? Y'all.
Absolutely.
Second person plural, right? I mean, it's great. It's your greatest contribution to American society. So where do
Accurate.
y'all go for dinner? Where do y'all? Where's to eat around here? And he like shovels more.
Oh, here basically.
Huh?
You go down to the supper club across from the mill.
Whoa, they have those where I'm from, but I didn't know you had supper clubs down here. Nice, nice. By the mill, you said.
Mhm.
Keeps eating. He orders another plate through between mouthfuls. The women at this point are just going ape shit. They are like noticing him a lot. There are several comments being made about how like uncouth
Okay.
he is and how gross
At,
it is.
no, at that point, if that happens, oh my god, I'm sorry. I
Shit's
will.
about to go down the diner.
Fisher will absolutely like as soon as kind of like probably the second or third comment that are obviously made to the point that we can hear them gets made. Fisher will stand up, walk over, be as domineering as possible, and
Ooh.
say, "You are being rude and making a bad impression on our town. Please quiet yourselves. You are adults." And we'll just turn around, walk, and sit back down.
Nice.
Doesn't
Give
have
me
any
a
time for that shit.
give me a voice roll. Roll your voice and then
Sure,
your
yeah.
voice roll plus convincing.
Yeah, plus convincing. All right, I can do
Yeah.
that. All right. All right. So that's gonna be 3 successes. 9s don't matter if I have successes, right?
Nines don't matter as long as you have enough successes. Yeah.
Okay. Did I
And
have enough successes?
definitely,
Okay.
working against known world people like that, you
Okay.
almost always only ever need one, and
Okay, cool.
so you definitely they calm down. They sit quietly for the next 5 or 10 minutes. They are not going to be making any more noise in your direction, especially about Adam.
Sure, absolutely. So Fisher will sit down and just like obviously just loud enough for the ladies to hear. we'll, we'll say, "I'm sorry. Some of our town members are uncouth."
And noticed, and he like chugs back the entire cup of coffee in one gulp, and
Absolutely.
Yeah. And his next plate comes out. I mean, so he's this is definitely a multi-course breakfast for this guy. He will be here for a
Well, he's
while.
a werewolf, so he needs it. You know what I mean?
He might not be literally a werewolf. He could just be a predator of some sort. He doesn't have to be a
Absolutely. The game based on that description, not a werewolf, just a predator. LOL, LOL.
I just
Well,
read
maybe
this.
he's a were sheep. He's the sheep in wolf's clothing. Huh?
Yeah, I just read it as a wolf in sheep's clothing, personally.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter. Fisher doesn't know any of that. So it's like sheep eat a lot too.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
So how do you guys handle this? Like he's going to be at the table now for the next probably half hour or so. What else?
Well, I
Cassidy
think we
would.
kind of
Oh,
stuck with them.
yeah.
What is Cassidy doing?
Oh, I was gonna say that Cassidy would just proceed to be low key, high key obnoxious to make the man not want to hang out with us anymore. Where he's not actively pushing him out, but like he'll do stuff like he'll slurp on his coffee, or he'll accidentally be a little, quote unquote, accidentally be a little careless and spill a drop of syrup or two on the dude's pants, or, and he'll just be friendly the whole time, but he'll
Yeah.
make it so that you just don't want to be around him.
Yeah. So something strange happens as you start doing that stuff. He like you get a little syrup on his pants and he literally just takes his palm, he puts his fork down, takes his palm and just rubs it onto his pants a few times and he just like you unless you like get physically violent, you can't bother him. Like
I
the
like you,
slurp of the
Philip.
coffee, he slurps back. I mean, you guys are
Cassidy's actually vibing with this, even though this guy is all bad vibes. He appreciates that because not everybody here can just roll with that shit.
yeah. Yeah. So after his third plate is finished, he asks Carol for for the check and says he's got to go suss out a place to bed down for the night because got to wait for that part. So thank you for your hospitality. Appreciate it. Have a good day. And
You
he
too.
takes up and pays at the counter. Carol comes and like clears away all of his massive amount of dishes and coffee cups and yeah. And
Girl will get a good tip today.
Yes.
yeah, she deserves it. Okay, so it's late morning. There is there's a gin on the loose,
Mm-hmm.
a fair active. There's some sort of hunter in town.
So whose side are we on?
What do you mean sides?
Well, we can either give the gin back or we can fight the Fae to free the gin.
At this point, I need to ask a foolish, out of character question, which is,
Yeah.
what happened to the gin? Where's the gin? Where did we leave the gin?
That's a really great question because I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. We talked to him and then
Yeah,
And
well,
then we
he
leave him?
Did he poof? What?
he had convinced the shop the garage guy to allow him to sort of stay at the house, but as you guys finished talking to him, he left too.
Okay.
And you just sort of, I mean, he went one way out the doors and you went another way. He didn't give you a forwarding address to where he'd be hiding next. You definitely got the feeling though that he's still in hiding. He's not like in running mode. He's not like leaving town. He's definitely trying to hide here for some reason.
Okay. There are trick-or-treaters outside. They all have the best costumes. Sorry, but I'm distracted. Okay. Are we working to free the gin? Or are we working to get the gin back?
I suppose there's any chance that we can just neither of those, right? Just kind of let them duke it out.
Well, we could, but we've been given an ultimatum. Find the Jinn or let the town be destroyed, which we could let the town be destroyed and
It's our
leave.
town. Can't do that.
Well, we could leave for a while, come back, and take up the positions of power that have been murdered since we left.
We can't do that.
We
There's
could.
a show tomorrow night.
Ah, that's true.
Hmm.
So we do have to make a decision.
We do. DM, can Cassidy make some sort of roll to think of like? There's gotta be, I'm thinking like fairy tales, and are there like things that keepers like would have like anecdotes of like, you know, just kind of what people have done in the past in situations like this.
Sure. Um, let's see what lore. Well, you do have Fey lore too, so
True.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead and give me a. It's so rough.
I think
Because of the.
he can't. He has 0 in intellect now that I'm thinking about it. So I think he'll look at BB and go, "Oh, have you heard of I don't know, anyone that's been in a similar situation before?" And we'll let someone else do that check.
Right.
But we have to have Laura to do a check like that, wouldn't we? Where's my sheet?
I mean, it's less about like Fae specifically, but like
Mhm.
you know how there's like fables and stuff like that to help you make
Yeah.
decisions. Like he's essentially looking for something like that.
Okay. I could give it a roll, like a maybe an intellect or perception.
Um, well, and also there is a thing that mentalists have, Jen, that
Oh.
you have access to. It's called Lore of the Inner Self.
Ooh.
And by spending a turn concentrating on a monster, you may temporarily gain lore equal to your rank of mentalism for that monster.
Oh.
Um, so if you want to sort of retcon that and have done that with the Jinn or with the
Yeah.
fairies, you could pick. You can't have two running,
Right.
but you could have focused on the Fae or on um, the Jinn or on this guy that was at the table.
I will. I think she'll focus on the gin. She doesn't know necessarily that the guy at the table is some kind of, unless Cassidy told us what he saw.
So Cassidy
I,
would have
I
told
think
him
I
that
think
Jin
Otis
was.
has the Jin lore though, doesn't
Yeah.
Otis
he?
has the Jin lore.
Oh,
So
right.
if we're gonna
Okay.
go
So,
Jin, this is probably my role.
okay.
Yeah.
You
Other
roll gin. I roll Fane roll. We'll
not
see what we figure out.
not that Cassidy could do anything with it now, but with his photographic memory, he is going to draw out on a napkin the tattoos, or not the tattoos, the scars,
Okay.
so we can have a better look at it.
Yeah. Nice. Um, so Cassidy's doing that. Jen, are you doing a lore for Faye?
Yes.
And then Stuart, you are doing lore for Jen. If y'all have,
Yeah.
or you'll be rolling intellect plus research if you have it, and then adding one for the appropriate lore
Adding one die or adding one to our threshold number.
to the target number.
Okay, so somebody's just gonna have to tell me how many dice to roll.
Yep. Let me look at you here. You have. Oh well, you have riddles.
Huh.
You have intellect, riddles, and the
Yeah.
proper lore. So,
Here.
um, you would be rolling 7 dice, and you need sixes or lower. Holy cats!
6s or lower.
Yeah,
Damn, Stuart's gonna know all the things.
you gotta know some stuff. Yeah.
I've got 3 successes and no 9s.
Yeah. So yours is the gin lore. So, you know that there are stories of folks helping the gin and then being rewarded for it. But it seems that like a lot of the fables point to the idea that if you help the jinn with any sort of like motive of gaining from it, of gaining power from it, or gaining a wish from it, or something, then something horrible usually happens to you.
Mhm.
So knowing that he's a jinn almost disqualifies you from gaining anything special from helping him, because your motive would be tied up in something less than altruism. You definitely would be, I mean, most likely would be wanting to gain something from helping this guy, which is a dangerous thing to do. So if you did help him, you would know this role would definitely warn you that asking for any sort of boon or reward because of your aid would be possibly even deadly.
Maybe don't tell us that part, so we don't know. Just be
And Jen,
completely
did you
honest.
roll for the Fae as well?
Yes, I only had one success.
With one success, you know that among the Fae, the worst sin is not taking a side. The
Oh,
Fae, the Fae are creatures of black and white, of good and evil, of summer and winter. They don't want half measures. They want
okay.
people to declare sort of an undying allegiance. They are high emotion and high risk reward, and they don't. Somebody who just tried to stay out of it would not fare well, according to the legends and the lore that you learn about that you know about the Fae.
So I will share this with everyone. I guess my plan to stay out of it's not a great one.
That's fair. Um,
So it sounds like being into it is going to be dangerous.
Yes. And staying out of it is going to be dangerous. And I
sorry.
can't think of a third option between aside from staying out of it or being involved in it. So
Well, if we decided we would turn the Jin in, what's our next move? And then also the opposite of that. If we decide to help the Jin, what is our next move?
I think we have to find the Jin in any case, right? Doesn't
that would
matter
seem like
which.
step one.
Yeah.
GM, when we ended last time, did we have we didn't tell the Jin we were helping him or not helping him? Like what was the ending of that conversation? I cannot remember.
It was info gathering, and then he was like, "Well, yeah, I need to get hidden better. I need to not go back, and I'm going to hole up in this town. I'm gonna make a." He didn't call it a stand, but he was like, "I'm going to wait. I'm gonna wait it out here. I'm gonna let it roll over."
But we didn't make any promises or declare any like
No,
we
no
will
promise.
see you.
No.
No.
No, I think the exit line would have been, I'm not going anywhere, and he goes somewhere, right?
Right.
Exit.
Yep.
Well, I think
Here's,
that oh, go ahead.
here's my thinking. This Fey woman is obviously very powerful and very able to kick our butts. But she really pissed me off. My store is supposed to be a place people can hang out and feel okay and have a drink, and that's obviously what that gentleman was trying to do. And she came into my store and started telling us what to do.
Yeah, she disrespected the place. That's not good.
Absolutely.
That's a
So,
bit
despite the
spiteful,
fact that
maybe.
I'm terrified of her, I don't really feel like doing anything she wants me to do.
That's pretty spiteful and petty. Are you sure you're not part Fey yourself?
I know you meant that as an insult, but I'm gonna spin it as a compliment, Cassidy.
He's definitely given a bit of a grin though. Like
Okay.
it was half playful and half ribbing.
I'm not saying I want my pettiness to determine what we all decide to do, but that's where I'm at. think maybe we have to vote.
I'll just do whatever the you decide to do. I'm not really much of a thinking sort. I'm just a doer.
Did Cassidy tell us about the hunter?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we? I think
We should probably think about what this hunter has to do with things. Like, why does this dude suddenly show up? And
Yeah.
you know, we've managed to bump into 2 hunters in the last 48 hours, right? If you count the Fae.
We
My
don't think
guess
that's
is he's here for the
coincidence?
what?
I was just sarcastically saying we don't think that's a coincidence.
Hmm.
I think likely he's here for the Jin, given that his first stop in town was the last place the Jin was. Probably that's what he's here for. So we
So
could
across
follow
the,
him to the Jin.
so across the street from where you guys are having pie, and 2 doors down is a place called the Doily. Although it's not really what it's called, but you guys call it that because it's just covered in doilies. And um, you see Adam going into the doily. Like it's a nice B&B. Um, there aren't that many places to stay in town because it's not a touristy trap. So you see him going in, and you're pretty sure that's like if you need to find him, that's where he is. The sign says Estelle's B&B, but you know, and the garage is actually just a couple doors down from that, also across the street from you, and you can see Joe is working on his normal car, but there is a motorcycle parked out in front of it.
Um, I also have a question, DM, because Cassidy does have the runes tool. Do any of these runes look familiar from the scars that the dude has? Where he might recognize, like, maybe what kind of ritual it was, or.
Yeah. So, and ironically, because you're a channeler, you also get extra information from that. Um, you don't have to roll intellect for this. Luckily, you
Nice.
can do a what's called a tier check. So basically, when you have information about your path of magic, you can roll, and the target number is your tier. So, and you guys are tier 1, so your target number will be 1,
Sounds good.
and you can roll that in this case because of stuff you don't that the player doesn't know about yet.
And which pillar am I rolling for this one?
You're gonna roll. Um, you are a channeler, so you'd roll soul.
Sounds good. Oh no, hold on. I really hope. Wow. Jesus Christ. Out of 6, that was 5 nines and 1 0.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah.
So Jesus.
So here is where um, the player character knowledge separation becomes very important. Because I had you roll it, even though it was a simple sort of knowledge check about your path. Uh, if I was more on my game, I probably would have rolled it for you so that if you messed up this badly, you wouldn't know that you'd messed up this badly.
But simple. But if it's simple, then one should do it, right?
Right? Well, the difficulty is actually the tier of whoever you're trying to learn about, and he's a tier 2
Oh,
guy.
no.
Literally, you only needed one more success, and everything would have been okay.
Yup.
You could have had 2 successes and 4 nines, and everything would have been just fine, just peachy. However, you you believe that what you have come across here um, is a soul trader. You believe that this he's a type of channeler who, when he slays someone, he binds their souls into a scar upon his body that he can then use for power later, or in extreme cases, he can trade those souls to other people, much like spirits. So you believe he's sort of a necromantic channeler. You've heard about them before. You've never seen one. They are the stuff of nightmares. I mean, they are scary. They, obviously to trade in souls is something that is never going to be okay, and he is definitely a dangerous predator that is probably here actually. Like, they are good hunters. He's probably here at the behest of the Fae to find the Jinn, but he is definitely not a friendly person if you are in his way or if you have something he wants. So be careful. He's a very scary, very bad man.
And
That is that's what your role tells you.
yep, Cassidy is like looking at the runes and messing around with them, and then looks to Fisher with a sort of like clarity for the first time. And he goes, "I'm starting to think he's not the bisexual.
Why?
He's a hunter, and a real bad one at that."
What does that have to do with his sexuality?
I don't know. But given that he is putting souls inside of him, I'm thinking it's more pansexual.
Leia laughs. Fisher does not. All right. Well, great.
So I take it this is way too scary a dude for us to confront directly, right? So would the idea just be to sort of keep an eye on this guy while we look for the Jinn, follow him around while he looks for the Jinn?
Well, here's the other thing. Like, that Fey lady, as scary as it is, I don't want to go up against both of them. So perhaps we could. Oh, I don't know if this fella is a Fey or not. If he is, I don't want to do a deal with the Fey, but perhaps make him an ally somehow. You could see what he wants, see if there's a way for us to resolve it, where the Fey lady gets what she deserves, and the town is safe.
We could go talk to him. We know where he is.
What he wants, dude, is probably your soul.
What
The
doesn't?
Fae don't have them, by the way.
He could
Fisher
try to
sounds like
take
the
my
kind of guy
soul.
we can reason with.
He could try to take my soul. He'd have to fight some bitches for it, though.
I'm Ginger, so I'm safe.
Damn it, Cassidy.
My
So
soul's
you
already
all
spoken for, so I'd be happy to go speak with him.
you all hear a very familiar voice. It's Mrs. Peterson, who runs the doily.
Mm-hmm.
She's got it's a familiar voice because it's like really high pitched and very sort of grating, even though she's a wonderful woman. So you hear her saying, "Oh, you come back soon. Don't worry, just have him put it on my account." And you see Adam leaving, carrying a recyclable cloth shopping bag from the general store. Um, Angry dog. And headed toward the general store, which is a block or two the other way. It looks like he's literally going on a shopping trip for her, like an errand. Um, and and he heads off, and Mrs. Peterson waves him away, and then goes back into her her establishment.
I could go to the general store if you want to go ask Doily what's going on over there.
Our dog is so
If
crazy now.
if we still want to try and make him our ally somehow.
You know what I would really like to know? Like, really, really like to know
Mm.
how you go up against a Fae and live.
Hmm.
This
I mean,
feels like
we've already
something we
done it
should
technically.
do. Yeah, but she wasn't trying to kill us during that conversation. And that's probably going to change.
Well, we're going up either against a Jinn or a Fae, and honestly, both of them are gonna kill us. So we tie no matter what we choose, or we live no matter what we choose.
My goal is to increase our chances of living. Does anyone have any idea how you fight a Fae?
That's why
Which
we would go make this soul eater an ally.
Seems like the logical thing to do. And we don't have enough power on our own. This is a powerful being. So at least think about it.
Yeah, we can talk to the Soul Eater. I just doesn't seem like a very trustworthy person, but
Hmm.
we can start there.
Yeah. Do you want me to go alone so that he can't eat anyone's souls, or do you want to come with me? And does anyone want to go to speak to Mrs. Doyley?
Let's split up, huh? Some of us can go talk to the Soul Eater, and some of us can go talk to the proprietor of the doily.
Sure.
Equally dangerous tasks.
Ginger, do you want to come with me?
Sure. Mr. Broody Man, since we're using nicknames.
You're the one that called out that you don't have a soul because of your ginger hair.
Yeah, but that is also smart. We should use nicknames around the Fae so they can't know our real name and steal it.
It's adorable you think you know my name. Let's go.
Right.
Lay down, lay down.
Okay, so who's going over to the doily? Who's headed over there?
I think me and Stuart are going to the doily.
Awesome.
Did the young people send the old people to the doily?
No, the no
Oh,
souls people sent the no souls people to go talk to the soul eater.
okay.
And also, I think Fisher's older than you.
I meant old players.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh.
That's fine with
no.
me. Fine with me.
Off to the crypt with you two.
I thank you. I suspect the assumption about gingers having no soul could be reckless, shall we say? But
Oh,
that makes it more
absolutely.
interesting.
It's absolutely reckless. This whole thing is reckless, especially if we think this guy actually eats our soul. Whatever, it's fine.
Thoughtful of Casey to test out what happens when you roll a fistful of nines.
Yeah, that's good.
That's also part of the reason why I think it'll be better for him to go because not that I want trouble to happen, but it's fun to see the mechanics at play. And so I'm trying to
Definitely.
not necessarily force it, but why not go to where the mechanic will best play out?
Absolutely.
And you've rolled your fistful of nines, so you're immune now. I mean,
We wish that's how
you're
that
due.
works.
It not get any worse.
That it's 5 fucking 9s, dude.
It's okay. That other roll that I rolled 3 on, I was like, I don't count nines, right? Because I had 3 nines, 3 successes and a 6, and I was like, this could go real bad.
Okay, so Jen and Stuart's characters head over to the doily. It's a nice short trip. You settle up with Carol on the way, and Mrs. Peterson is in the living room. So the doily, even though it's a bed and breakfast, really is just a big old Victorian house. And the office is the front sitting room, um, where she receives guests while sitting in a high backed chair. Um, and you're welcomed, um, to the doily by Mrs. Peterson. I'm not going to do her voice the whole time because it's really grating on my nerves. But remember that she sounds very, very high pitched and annoying. Um, oh, well, why? How? Uh, locals. You never come in here. Welcome. Are you here for tea? You know, we do serve tea in the afternoon, but not but not early in the day like this. What do you need?
Well, just to chat for a moment, if that's okay.
Oh, okay. Come sit down. I'm sorry I have nothing to offer. My cupboards are bare. I haven't had a guest in the guest house for 2 weeks, and I actually just had to send the lad out to get to the crumpet mix so I can make some crumpets
Okay.
for the tea. Mrs. Peterson is like in her mid 90s and is doing the best she can.
Aren't we all?
What?
I mean, the
What?
second part.
Just a visit then. You youngsters, do you like the soda pop? Would you like some soda pop?
No,
I
thank
do
you.
have that. But tea won't be ready for a couple more hours. And the crumpets the same. You don't need a room, do you?
No.
But I think we'd like to talk to your most recent guest, if possible.
Oh. Well, he went down to the store for me. He asked if there was a lunch provided, and I said no, but we have a tea. And then he said, when would that start? And I said, well, I haven't made it yet. And he said, well, could you get on that? And he said he's very hungry, and so I said, of course, but I don't have the ingredients. And I wrote out a nice long list for him and gave him my reusable bag because the environment is in deadly danger, you know. And I sent him away, and he shall be back any minute with the groceries, I believe. He left his. He brought in a large duffel, very large, big enough to fit a body in, I would say. And he put that in his room, and then left on my errand for me. That's as much as I know about him. Except he has stayed on for 2 nights. He said that his motor bicycle is in need of repairs. Yes, and that is down at Joe's, and Joe is waiting for a part. Yep, that is as much as I know.
I'm thinking one of us should keep the proprietress busy while the other one tries to get into the room to check out the duffel.
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide which of those is the short straw.
Hmm.
Because neither one sounds great.
Who actually has stealth, if either of you?
Not me.
Nope.
Which
But
one
my
of you is
choice
better at convincing people to pay attention to them?
That's going to be BB, I think.
Yeah.
All right, BB.
So
Sounds right.
BB/Auntie Jane is gonna sigh heavily and lean forward in her chair and ask the proprietress how she makes such delicious crumpets. Can you tell me your secret?
Oh, of course. And she goes to the kitchen for a minute first, and brings out this white tin box with like all this beautiful
Oh, when
scrolling.
she starts going to the kitchen, I'm gonna say, "Oh, can I come with you and see the kitchen?"
Oh, certainly. And
Right. So Otis, whose time inside may have had something to do with some B&E, decides that he can get into the room.
you've got two larceny. You can get in anywhere.
Oh, there you go. Right.
Um,
So I'm in the room, unless the room is warded.
It is not warded. It is
Oh.
locked, but it's the sort of old Victorian house locks that, I mean, you can pick with like an ice pick. I mean, it's barely worth your time. You certainly don't need to roll.
You can
Uh,
pick them with irony, I think, actually. But
yeah, exactly. And so yeah, and literally his room is, I mean, covered in lace and doilies, like everything is in here. The bedspread even is like this white lace thing on top of another white thing, and in the very middle of the bed, just sort of thrown on the bed, is a very large black duffel. There is It's one of those duffels that's like it's pretty well reinforced, and the all of the edges and stuff are really reinforced, and then it does have a padlock on the top where it's zippered shut. So you could certainly bust into it easily with a knife, or you could try to pick the lock with your larceny, or any other approach you would like.
I think a lock picking roll is what's called for here.
Yeah, so then you're going to use your grace plus larceny, which for you I believe is 3.
Yep.
And you're going to roll your blood dice, which is 5.
Okay. Which is 5. Okay, so I'm rolling 5d10.
Exactly, and you are looking for 1s, 2s, and 3s.
I've got a 2.
That is all you need.
Okay. So I'm in the duffel.
Yeah, so you are in the duffel.
Hopefully not literally, but I've got access to the duffel.
Yes.
Is there anyone inside the duffel?
There is no one inside the duffel currently.
Ah, there we
Um,
go. So no gin there.
No,
Currently.
he does not officially have the gin yet or anything like that. And no other people being carried.
Is
Yeah,
there anything
as
else
of yet.
inside the duffel that might be interesting?
There are only 3 things in this duffel. One of them is a shotgun. It is covered in what look like mystical runes of some sort written all across the metal parts of the shotgun. They're just covered in these runes. The second thing in here is a large chain, like a beefy chain, not not a little chain. This is the kind of
Big
chain that
gross
you,
links.
yeah, and you could probably you could secure your motorcycle to something pretty sturdy with this chain. And then there is a carpet rolled up and takes up most of the room of this duffel bag.
Okay, so
A
I'm
large
guessing
rug.
that stealing from this individual would not be a good idea, and that the runes on the shotgun are going to make it not safe to have. Though it would be tempting to deprive the bad guy of the weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that its enchantment would render that a bad idea.
Let's see.
So
Oh, well, you're
I'm
an artificer. So,
oh
as an artificer, you can look at those runes and see what they are. They are purely for doing more damage.
okay.
Literally the only thing those runes do, they focus kinetic energy and just push the shot out faster and harder than it otherwise would have. So really,
Telekinesis is my thing.
yep. Yeah, so
Yeah.
somebody used telekinesis and artifice to build this shotgun. Like, this is something you could definitely have made.
Okay. So this is probably something I'm taking with me.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely a good idea.
Yeah.
So then
I don't
there's
know,
just
but
a carpet, like a 3 by 5 foot carpet, and a big chain. The chain seems not magical whatsoever. Like, there's nothing special about it. In fact, it's even a little rusted in spots.
well, if we're doing thievery, maybe take all 3.
Yeah.
Maybe take the
If
whole
we're
duffel.
doing
You just take
thievery.
you just take the duffel then?
Stuff all the stuff back in and off we go.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay.
Okay. Jen, you don't even need to make a roll to keep her busy. She is so happy just to have somebody in her kitchen talking to her about recipes and stuff. So, it's all good. You can catch a glimpse of Stuart's character walking down the stairs, and getting out of the place, with the big black duffel, and he's gone by the time you are even halfway done listening about these recipes she's telling you about.
Great. Well, now that I've seen that we're lifting the duffel, I would like to get out of here before the guy gets back. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
try
Okay.
to wrap up the crumpet conversation as quickly as I can and also leave.
Yeah, you do get out. You are okay. And she welcomes you back anytime. She's so happy she had guests. And now the camera will pan over to the grocery, where Adam is shopping with a shopping list. So as you folks approach the grocery, it's got the huge plate glass window in front, and you can see him through the window. He is looking at the shelf that has a couple of different types of flour and baking ingredients on it, and he's holding up he's holding up a shopping list written on like a big long piece of long thin piece of paper, and he's like comparing the list and like pointing at the names of the flower, like trying to get the right stuff.
This
Like
seems
he's not used to this.
this seems very strange to Fisher that he is like doing this, even though he's supposed to be a badass. So this should be interesting. Fisher's just gonna go in, and
So
it's
he
just gonna be like really up front.
nice. So he glances toward the door as the two I assume two of you come in.
I assume so.
And you notice he's also put on reading glasses, which is also really undercutting the whole
Like
badass
really
thing.
undercutting this whole thing, but it's fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. So yeah, so Fisher is literally just gonna walk up and say, "So, Wolf, you here for the gin?"
I
And
don't think
not the
they've got
liquor sort.
I don't think they've got booze here, man. This place is it's dry county, isn't it?
But there's actually some real good cactus moonshine.
Is there?
Yeah, hold on 1 second, and he'll go into his back pocket, and like there's probably like it's mostly
So
like backwards
flash.
at this point, but
Ugh.
like he
Oh,
would
it's so
hand
gross.
the flask over to him.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you've met Adam. He'll take a big ass drink of that. And if there's not that much left, he'll swallow it, all of that backwash right in one big swallow.
There's definitely like booze in it, but like it's the last quarter, So.
Oh, it's so gross.
That shit's okay.
Yeah,
Thanks. He gives you your flask back empty.
but I don't think that's what Fisher meant by gin.
Oh, what'd you mean then, fish?
Well, you're obviously here for something. Hunting something.
Well, shit, I don't want to step on any keeper's toes. I mean, I'm not
Not at
hunting
all.
anything of yours, as far as I know.
What are you here for?
Oh, there's a price to be had right now. There's a bounty out on thief.
Hmm.
Got called in, and well, I was pretty close on a line, so I thought I'd check it out, see if I can pocket a quick buck or two.
So
What's the
Fisher will
bounty?
have like will glance at the list and start pulling things for the list as they're talking.
Okay. Oh yeah, what's this? I don't understand this bread flour. I isn't all flour for bread?
No. Then Fisher will just take bread flour off the shelf and put it. It is. I imagine that our general store is pretty small.
Oh yeah,
Like it's like pretty compact.
yeah.
What's the bounty for the gin?
That's 30.
30 what?
Fisher
Oh,
will kind of turn to you and like,
Dollars?
no, no. 30 drams, 30 mana, I guess you might call it.
Oh, that's a fair amount, but well, just so you know, I did get a fair amount of mana from the drummer boy in the cemetery, so there's easier ways to do it than doing a deal with the Fae. And you know what they say about doing deals with the Fae, right?
Yeah, don't lie. I mean,
But
isn't
yeah,
that
you
what
just
this?
don't do them. Like, period.
Well, not.
Cassidy here
I've
is a
dealt with
little
many.
afraid of them.
They're honorable folk. They keep their word. I mean,
Do they
you know.
now? And he kind of looks over at Fisher and goes, because I heard this one didn't quite keep the word as best as they should have.
You're hunting a Jin, if you didn't know, not just a
Oh,
thief.
well, that makes it more interesting. But I can handle that. Do you people have skin in this game? Or I don't want to. I don't want to mess with keepers. If this is your show,
Ugh,
I'll
The
move on.
Fae, The Fae want him back, and will destroy the town if they don't get him. So they say.
Guess that
You're
makes
not
me
stepping on
a
any
hero of
toes.
the town then, huh?
Mm,
I mean, if
yep.
I return him, then your town is safe, and I did a good thing. Not something that is often said of me, but that could taste nice, right? A good thing. Like how it feels in the mouth. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You're
Here
not
comes
stepping on
that.
any
Those
toes.
good things.
We're here to see if you wanted to ally up, work together.
Huh. Well, what kind of gin is it? I mean, do we need to ally up?
If you want to take it on alone, go for it.
Huh. Well, do you know? Is it a common gin? Is it a star gin? Is it a noble?
Do we know that? I feel like at some point GM, I feel like at some point we did figure that out, but I don't remember. I think
Yeah,
Stuart did a bunch of research.
yeah. I believe Stuart's character would know that it's a common gin, which is like the lowest, the weakest of the gin. They're still mighty powerful in terms of wishes.
And we all know that,
Sure.
I think, because that was determined while we were all present.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
it's common. We
It's
were
common.
attempting.
Why didn't you guys just take care of it right away? I mean, it doesn't seem hard.
There's an
There's
ethical
something
component.
up with the person that's given the bounty, I feel.
Ethical component. Well, shit. I don't like ethics.
They're
They get in the
pesky
way
things.
of fun and
Hmm.
doing things that sound right. I get all confused in the head when somebody starts babbling ethics and philosophy at me.
He's a prisoner. The
Not
Jin.
anymore, it's not.
Not currently, unless you give him back.
Oh. Oh, wait. Are you guys some like touchy feely hippie keepers? Are you you're like freedom, love, hope, and whatever. Like a
Oh no. One of
movie
the
with
Fae that's looking for.
Nicole Kidman?
Look at him. Does he look like he likes love or affection or anything that has a positive connotation? He walks
Uh,
around look like he's waiting for. He's got his toe dipped in the grave and he's waiting for the rest of it to pull him in.
You're not wrong. I mean, yeah.
No, just the Fae that came to ask us to take care of the Jin was, well, rude.
Yeah, kind of shitty.
Slighted one of our companions.
Oh.
So it's a little bit less about ethics and pettiness. Do you like petty, Adam?
Well, I don't mind petty.
Do you want to be petty?
Petty's not payment.
Mm.
Are, whose side are
You-
you on, Fisher?
Well, it was gonna come up eventually. He's not an idiot.
Okay, but you warm him up first, and then once he's kind of, like it, and he's saying this like right in front of Adam. Once he
Yeah,
starts
yeah.
liking us and wants to, maybe we want to work together, well, then we could work out the payment. But you gotta warm him up first.
He takes his basket to the counter and like starts checking out now. He's still talking with you guys, but he's like he's staying on task as well.
What's something you want besides mana?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I could use some. I could use a large quantity of silver.
Hmm.
I
That's
do have a
expensive.
large quantity of silver.
Do you?
I mean, I took above table. I took the most wealthy that one can be.
Oh
So
my
I imagine that
god.
yes, one could in fact have a pile of silver if one wanted to.
This is not wrong.
That was gonna come out in game at some point, but now
I love that.
Well, then my next project requires a lot of silver, so
how much is a lot of silver?
well, he reaches in and pulls out like this piece of parchment that's obviously been folded way too many times, and he hands it to you, and it's a schematic of something, but it's beyond your sort of wait, let me click your character. It is not beyond. Okay, never mind. It's for a pocket watch. You're not sure why he would need a ton, like a whole bunch of silver, but you can see that there's the workings of chronomancy, like sort of built in to this watch. Um, so he might need lots of silver for various weird reasons, but I mean, you can make a whole pure silver watch pretty inexpensively. I mean, you know.
Sure, yeah. Ah,
So
another chronomancer.
I
Welcome to
need to
town.
I need to make 101 of those.
Do I have a sense of how much silver that would actually take?
I mean, a few $1,000s worth, but not like it's you're
Not
not
like an
looking
inconvenient amount. Okay,
not for
cool.
you, no. For this guy who's just getting by, yes,
Absolutely. Yeah, he'll take a look at the watch and yeah, he'll say, ah, another chronomancer. Interesting. I can provide that amount of silver for you.
you can.
Yes.
Huh. What's the deal? He pays with a credit card to the lady at the
Absolutely.
thing.
Um above table. What this deal gonna be, guys?
Well, I was thinking either fighting the Fae with us or getting the Jinn but pulling an Uno reverse where we technically fulfill what she asks for, but he gets away. Details to be determined later.
I assume
So
that was
he
in character, right, Cassidy?
That would have been in character.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just want to make sure.
so he finishes his transaction. He sort of huffs and gets annoyed because he forgot to give the lady the recycle bag, and so he has to unpack the plastic bag that she made and then like put it all in the canvas bag, and he puts away his reading glasses and says, "I'm on my way back. The lady, Mrs. Peterson, needed something."
We'll follow you. Um, as we're leaving, I will kind of like go over to the cashier and be and say and just ask them to put the doilies tab on his tab. Just move it over.
All right. Yeah.
Cuz he assumes that I after you were talking, I was like, I feel like Fisher just pays for people's shit all the time. Like,
Okay.
especially the people who shouldn't be getting by, just like inexplicably are still in business, and it's because Fisher just like pays shit in town for that.
Fisher's like Russell Crowe. Okay. Nice. Okay, so yeah, Adam heads back. It's only like a block or two away.
Sure.
Um, he gets. Do you go all the way back to the doily with him?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah.
So your other friends are already gone from there.
Okay.
That was they moved more quickly than that. Um, and he gives the bag to Mrs. Peterson, who thanks him. And oh well, when's this going down?
That's a great question.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna take a nap because all those flapjacks are really in me right now, and I'll take a nap and I'll find you folk sometime around dinner time. Hey, how about that supper club?
Absolutely. Supper club it is.
Excellent.
Well,
He heads upstairs to take his nap.
where all the shit is gone.
Yeah. Okay. So the
Ballsy of
four
us
of
to make a
you
deal with someone we're also stealing from.
Makes it interesting.
All right, yeah, we're gonna go find these other two. Probably at the tattoo parlor, I imagine.
makes sense.
Yeah,
You don't want to go.
that's a
You
good
don't want to go
guess.
someplace super public with your stolen goods.
No, and I mean you want to stash it somewhere that you've got protection, and I assume there are magical resources at the parlor.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the four of you are reunited. I won't sing. However, I will get up and get a soda while you guys get reacquainted.
Oh.
I'll be back.
Okay, so there needs to be updating and reporting. Like, you guys need to tell us about your conversation with the wolf guy,
Yeah,
and Otis needs to sheepishly explain that. Well, we sort of pinched his bag. It's got some interesting stuff in it.
Oh, nice. What's in there?
Well, a really neat gun
Wow.
and a carpet and a chain. Chain I can kind of figure out. Don't know so much about the carpet.
Well, it's for wiping
Unless
easier
your
to
it
feet on
clean
when
up
you
a
flies.
walk
scene.
inside at home.
Hmm.
What did
And
Cassidy say?
It's for wiping your feet on when you walk inside a home.
oh, Cassidy.
That's not what it's for, but sure.
Or wrapping up a body maybe, but
Oh, well, I guess that's a clever use for it.
I mean, if you're, a contract killer, sure.
If he's a contract killer, I'll eat my left foot.
Gross.
so
That man has a pair of reading glasses.
how
is
did
not
your
a contract
conversation go with the fellow with the reading glasses and the interesting bag?
Oh, well,
Really
he's
good,
our ally
actually.
now. Yeah. We
He's
made a
what?
deal. He's gonna help us with the Fae.
Help us do what?
Get the Jinn away. I assume that's what you wanted.
So you've worked it out that we're going to double cross the Fae? Is that the deal?
We never, well, he'll double cross his Fae. We
Yeah,
never
he's
actually made a
double-crossing.
deal.
And why is he doing this for us?
Because I gave him a better deal.
Yeah, Fisher's loaded.
No, I
So
just
you're
have a lot
paying
of
him off.
silver. Well, I happen to have a lot of silver.
Uh-huh. What's he want silver for other than nice, shiny bank account? Any other
Chronomancy.
reasons? Chronomancy.
Hmm.
Like the traveling back and forth in time thing.
It's used for different things, but sure.
Okay, so
thought-
this
yeah.
is a
Yep.
good thing. He's going to help us fight the Fae who want to destroy the city.
Hmm.
How do you suppose the fact that we pinched his bag is going to affect this whole arrangement?
Well, anyone here that's better at lying can go to him and say we found it somewhere else. Maybe we caught a thief stealing his stuff. Who knows? It won't be me,
Can't we
but
just
one of
put
you
it
might be
back?
better at that. Well, he's there now, so he'll have figured out it's gone.
Hmm. Or we could just leave it behind the check-in counter and not acknowledge it whatsoever.
We could do.
And just let the universe work that one out.
I'd sort of like to hang on to his gun for a bit, but
You
up to
Americans
you.
Gun's
and
on
your
our side
guns.
now. What did Cassidy say? Sorry.
You Americans and your guns.
I mean, that's fair. Inky Jane's gonna go through the bag. The gun has runes on it. Do the
Yep.
chain and the carpet just look mundane and regular?
The chain does. Do you unroll the carpet?
Yes, we unroll the carpet.
Is it? Oh my god.
Ooh.
Why
Yeah.
did you put it there?
So you unroll the carpet. It looks at first like the edges that you could sort of see before you unrolled it look just like a very fancy sort of abstract,
Oh my gosh.
geometrical
This is
pattern.
just a flying carpet.
But as you roll it out, you actually see that it looks like the a stairway going down. And if as you
Oh,
roll
it's
it
one
out,
of those portal carpets. Darn.
yeah, as you see it laying there on the floor of the tattoo parlor, you're pretty sure you could go down those steps.
Hmm. Okay, so which one of us is going down the steps? Who's up for that?
I already made my one dumb decision of the last 48 hours.
I think since I boosted the stuff, Otis is going down the steps.
I will
Maybe he's
take
taking the
out.
gun with him.
You see- So you do see I roll up my pant leg and I pull a whole bunch of rope
Ah,
that was obviously like wrapped around my leg and I wrap it around you and I do some knots. What do I roll to do I need a roll to rope?
You don't need to roll to rope unless something really weird later happens with it. We could check to see how well those knots were made then.
Oh, great. I
Like
happen to have rope as a skill, which is why
yeah, you have level 2 rope. Yeah.
I have level 2 rope. It's the only level 2 thing I have.
Yep. Yeah.
do I need to roll, or is this just a plot decision to go down the steps?
I mean, if you stand at the right spot, it literally is just a stairway that you can walk down.
Yeah.
Like you're
Okay.
not doing anything magical to make it happen. You're not activating anything. You're not doing a power. You are literally just walking down some steps that are in the floor of the carpet. Does
Okay.
and you guys see him go. Like, I mean, he's down there. I mean, he doesn't turn into like a piece of the mosaic on the carpet. He doesn't turn into thread or anything. He just literally walks down into the floor. Does anybody else follow down these stairs? Or is Stu's character alone?
That's how we're all rushing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I sort of see their faces peering over the edge, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking down on you as you go.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Or
at the
like,
very bottom of the stairs,
Mhm.
there's like a small, like a little 5x5 area that ends in a door. Like there's a wooden door. It does not have a knocker on it or anything. It's just a wooden door. It doesn't look, I mean, it looks sort of old fashioned, right? It looks like an English cottage door more than it does like a modern American door. It's got a rounded top and it looks like it's made out of oak. And it has a latch handle instead of a doorknob. And
any
yeah.
runic dimension to this?
Not that you can see, but not that you can see easily. So please roll your soul dice and use perception as your target number.
Okay, so just give me the numbers on the roll there.
For you,
What
that's 6 dice, and your target
6,
number is 2 or less.
2 or less? Okay, I have a 2. I also have 2 9s. I have 3 9s.
Luckily, you only needed 1 success for this.
Okay.
So those 9s don't matter.
Okay.
There is actually a glyph hidden on the door.
Ah.
It's not sort of hidden magically. It's just meant to be very faint, so that you really have to look for it
Mhm.
to find it. You don't have the tool of glyphs yourself. I'm not sure if anybody does.
No, I've got Enochian, but I don't have glyphs.
Yeah, Cassidy would, because Cassidy has runes, and runes and glyphs are very closely related. Cassidy could know some stuff about this glyph, but all you know is what everybody knows about glyphs. By opening this door, you might be subject to some sort of magic from the glyph, or maybe even by touching the door. Like it could be something that touches the door, or goes through the doorway, or hurts the door or
So do
you're
I
not.
know that Cassidy has this understanding of? I assume I
Yeah,
would do that as a keeper.
yeah. I
So
think you guys know each other's sheets pretty well.
right. So Otis is gonna turn away from the door, come back up to the point where it's possible to communicate with the others, and invite at least Cassidy to come down and join him.
Cassidy doesn't think twice. He starts skipping down.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't come down in the first place.
It's I like the solo mission feel that you got with that one, you know. And
Yeah, right.
also, you know, you're a first time tabletop player, and I wanted you to feel the stakes when your character has to like
Cool.
go do that little secret mission. But
That's great. Yeah. Okay, so Cassidy, what do you make of this glyph here?
well, it's definitely magical. What sort of
Cass,
thing
you
does
can
it?
Oh, it's
you
just a
can,
door in the middle of a thing with a carpet, and so no magic, no surprise.
let's see. So you would be checking your perception, and you could actually add the one for your runes.
Sounds good. So target number 2. Okay, 1 second. That is 2 successes.
So there is a spell that is bound up in this glyph that will affect anybody who goes through the door. So it's not a glyph to help keep the door safe or keep people out. That kind of glyph would activate, when the door was touched or when someone attempted to go through the door. This will only affect you if you step through the threshold or go through the threshold in some way.
Cassidy.
You can't, with that many successes, you can't tell what it is. Um, but there is definitely a power waiting to be unleashed upon any and all who walk through this doorway.
Is there anybody in town we don't like?
Oh,
Yeah, that red cap fella. I'd love to send him through the door.
someone have now. We've all got familiars, but I thought one of us had a companion.
What? We can't just send our pets through.
No, not the pet. There was a hanger
You
on,
want me? You
a
want me to
mortal.
send the little girl through the
Oh
door?
Yeah,
my god.
yeah. This is a time. What's she called? I forget.
She's a minion. She's
A
actually
minion.
A
Yeah.
minion, right? Yes. This is a job for a minion.
Are you like shouting that up there? Because he's not
Yeah,
with you.
yeah. Yep.
What's her name again? I'm sorry.
Molly.
Yeah,
Molly.
Molly. Okay. Molly.
So she comes skipping in through the front door of the tattoo shop.
She's officially invited in now. Haha.
Yeah,
Great.
she is.
Now she is.
You called for her while you were in the shop.
I
No, no,
know.
no. This may not be a problem long term, depending on what happens.
Oh no, it will be. Molly's forever.
What's up, boss?
Can you go down into this staircase and tell me how much it would cost for you to walk through that door?
Sure. She takes the stairs 2 at a time and gets there, and she touches the door. And oh wow, it's a big glyph on this door, man. How about? Okay, how about on Sunday, which I think is 2 days from now, right? On Sunday, from 8 o'clock p.m. until midnight, you and I will play Monopoly. The best board game ever made.
We haven't had very much quality time.
I know.
What does the glyph do?
Don't know yet. It's really well made. That's why it's Monopoly.
Sure,
Right.
we'll play Monopoly. Hold on. Wait, hold. Above table. That's after the town is supposed to be destroyed and stuff, right? I'm not
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
It's wild. The town is being destroyed. You're just like sitting there playing Monopoly.
Sure. Well, I have to now. It's a deal.
So she opens the door and steps through. Those of you who are close enough to her to see that her dress, she's wearing sort of a wrinkly, um, dingy-ish dress. The kind of dress that looks like some little girl's been playing in it for a few hours at least. And her hair is done up, but it's not like super primped. And she goes through like a little poof of air, like sort of surrounds her, and suddenly her hair is gorgeous. Her dress is clean and pressed, and she looks just overall cleaner and refreshed. And she
It's a
turns
glamour.
around. She turns around and is like, "Well, I've got to go get sticky again." And she like leaves and goes up the stairs, leaving the door open for you.
So is it just a glamour then, Molly?
No, unfortunately, I'm really clean.
It's a dry cleaning glamour. Oh my God.
What did you see beyond the door?
Looked like a cottage.
Huh.
I didn't know if you wanted me to interact. I mean,
No, it's fine.
did you want me to interact?
Was there someone to interact with?
There was a lady chopping carrots. Okay, see you later.
No. Goodbye.
She hops up the rest of the way of the stairs and is out.
I feel like above table, I feel like this is a supernatural Bobby situation where he found a version of his wife from a long time ago, and she's living in that cottage before she turned into a zombie. For anyone who has ever seen Supernatural. At the table, however, I think we should leave it alone. Shut the door. Get back up here. Does this feel like chronomancy? This feels like chronomancy. This feels like some weird like time slash space bubble.
Well, the good news for you is you have chronomancy, so
I
you
do.
could
Yeah,
do
can
a
I?
perception plus chronomancy check to see if you feel like this is all about chronomancy.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so that's gonna be I'm a 3 or under, right?
Yes. 7 dice, 3 or under.
All right, that's gonna be 3 and 1 9.
You sense that there is abjuration magic involved and elemental magic, but no chronomancy.
I also have abjuration.
Yeah. It
Can I?
is basically a space within a space. I mean, it's a safe space. It's a carpet of holding sort of deal. It is
The
a
pocket
gateway
universe.
to a place that doesn't exist anywhere else.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, we gotta get this back to this guy. Get back up here.
But this could be where he keeps his stash.
There's a
It is
woman
almost
down
100%.
there.
Yes, where this is where he keeps the stash. 100%. Yes.
Carrots.
And there's a woman in there.
Hmm.
We shouldn't interfere until we know more information.
BB, what do you think?
You didn't talk to her. You didn't.
I mean, only Molly went in, right? So,
Okay.
so you were up there when he had that
Yeah,
conversation with Molly, so you heard that
Yeah.
whole thing. So like, we have not interacted with her yet.
Yeah. Oh. Man, if she's a prisoner, I don't want to just hand this back to him.
I'm not even asking Cassidy because I know what Cassidy's going to say. So, I mean, either I was the last one to make a foolhardy move, so therefore I can make another foolhardy move, or
You absolutely could. You are absolutely
okay.
allowed to make another
Okay.
foolhardy move.
It's
You,
bad money
yeah.
after good at this point.
Looks like
If you are gonna go in, you'll go in.
Yep, I'm going.
Yeah.
You know.
Is anybody joining?
No.
Oh, Cassidy's
Otherwise-
not coming.
Cassidy's gonna
Oh, no,
not
I'm
going in
not.
if
I'm not
Cassidy's not
joining. No, other people can join. I'm just saying I'm not joining.
Cassidy's gonna cannonball. Let's be real.
Right, Cassidy's in, right? Yeah, so Otis and Cassidy are through the door.
Okay. Oh
Oh,
boy.
I
BB, are
still
you
have the
going as
rope
well?
on him.
That's right. There's still the
Rope's
rope
still on
on Otis. Yep.
Jen, is BB going in as well?
No.
Okay.
That's probably wise.
So the two of you get into through the doorway. You both get cleaned and refreshed. You actually feel if you have any points missing, not scars, but you have any points missing, they are refreshed. So all of your points are returned to you if you've spent any. I don't think you
Nice.
have.
Oh, that's nice.
And you feel you also don't. I mean, you feel rested. You feel like you're just feeling really good. And it opens into it. Basically, it looks like the inside of an English cottage. And it's got like the low ceiling, and right now you're in the kitchen. So you sort of come in from the kitchen door, and you can see the rafters are full of drying meats and drying herbs, big bunches of them, and it's like the most wholesome sort of cottage you can imagine. There's a woman at a large chopping block with 4 or 5 really, really big, thick carrots that she is chopping very, very delicately with a large knife. She looks up when you enter, sees 2 people in her cottage or in the cottage, and just says, "Oh, wow! I didn't know company was coming. What are you? You're looking for Adam?" She hasn't stopped cutting. She's still definitely cutting.
No, not right now. Who are you?
Well, I'm the cottage keeper.
Cottage keeper.
Who are you?
You.
Oh, never mind us. We're just burglars.
Oh, burglars.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
sometimes burglars.
Are you here to
Sometimes
burgle?
explorers. Are we here for what?
Are you here to burgle?
Not necessarily.
No, he did that already. He's
All
got
right.
his
Good.
burgling out for the day done.
That's good. That's good. Then, if you'd like, you may walk about. If you're not here to burgle, if you were here to burgle, I would have to step in. You know,
That's perfectly fair.
but I do have a stew on, and I need to get these carrots in soon. So I'm going to continue my work if you don't mind.
Of course. So,
Good, good.
how do you know Adam?
He made the cottage.
All on his own.
Hmm.
Would that be his big knife you're holding?
Well, I mean, it's a knife.
Hmm.
I suppose everything in the cottage is his. And to answer your earlier question, I believe that he was on his own, but I couldn't really tell you. I only existed after the cottage was made, so I didn't watch it happen. I have no evidence about the creation of the cottage. I know it's his, and I know he was instrumental in making it. I'm thinking back to our conversations, and I mean, I don't know. He's never sworn to me that he worked alone. So I can't honestly. I'm sorry. I can't give you a good answer to that question. But I will endeavor to answer any other questions that you may have. He slides the carrots that she's been cutting into a pot that's already boiling on the.
So
On
this,
the
hmm. So Adam made you.
oh. And he didn't make me the same way he made the cottage, but he did. I
Well,
guess dream.
I know how babies work.
Oh, no, no, no. Not like that. No. Um, do you know about making illusions?
Yes.
Oh, oh, good, good. Well, I'm that. I'm what
Got it.
I am that.
So there wasn't a stork involved. All right. And he'll
No.
turn
What's
this.
in the stew?
Oh, carrots, parsnips, potato, and some lamb today. Yes.
No souls.
What?
I take it.
No. I mean, I guess that depends on what you believe about lambs. Hmm. Never really thought about that. No, lamb flesh. I don't think any lamb souls. No. Souls. Hmm. No, none of those. Can I ask why you ask? It's a slightly off-putting question, really. Souls in my stew.
I don't know what made me think that. Ask that.
Well, it's because Adam collects souls, does he not?
What?
That's what his scars are for.
What? How, where are you? Do you, Adam, he's about 6 feet 1 inches tall, very handsome, big
Pansexual.
hand. Pansexual.
He'll
I
pull out
honestly don't
the.
know what that means. Does that mean he loves pans?
No, it means
And
he
do you
will.
mean pans like Greek pans? Or do you mean pans like cooking pans?
Wait, there's Greek pants?
Oh, yes, I've met a few. And that would make a lot of sense. I mean, you know, given all that is true about
He
the world.
seems like a well traveled fella. I could see why he'd be into the Greeks.
Mm.
He'll pull out the crumpled napkin with the copies of his scars on it and show it to her and goes, "Are this
Oh,
not? Is this not runes to trap souls?"
no, no, no. That's not what those are. You see this, and she traces her finger along like the path of several of the scars. This is a pathway to allow spirits to enter him. He's what I believe you call a channeler. He
No, we call that a
gathers.
bottom.
We call that what? Sorry, I didn't hear.
A bottom.
Hmm, I'm not following you, but anyway, the channeler draws spirits in, holds them for a time, uses them to do magic. I mean, aren't you a channeler?
I
You
am,
smell
yes.
you smell like one. I mean, how do you
I thought
draw
I
yours?
smelled like beer.
Oh, you smell a bit like channeler. You've trucked with spirits a bit more than the others. Hmm?
Yes.
This is his method. This is he lets them in when they often demand a ride. Right at the end of a negotiation, he lets them in through the scars.
That makes sense.
Hmm?
And he like turns to Otis, like smiling and like waggling the the napkin, being like, "So he's not a bad fella after all. Isn't that great?"
I still don't want to hand back his gun right yet, but okay. Can anything be seen of an outside world through the windows of this cottage?
Um,
Meaning Otis goes to the window and looks out.
yeah. So there are windows and there's land outside. Um, in the front of the house, it overlooks a cliff. You see a huge sort of seaside vista, and you see towards the left, you see like a shed. Um, and in between the shed and here looks like a forge. It looks like an outdoor forge area with a huge anvil and a furnace that's covered with a shale sort of roof. It's not on. It's not like heated. There's no fire burning right now, but it's definitely a workplace. Um, and then out the back, you actually see an herb garden out the back window that you see, and it looks all very real. I'm going to break from the people in the cottage and go back to the people in the tattoo parlor. Um, so Fisher,
Is he here? I feel like he's coming. And I am like
yeah. So I need you to check your spirit, please.
my spirit.
Yeah. So you're gonna roll 7 dice for your soul, and you're gonna target number is 3 or lower.
Ooh, 4. No nines.
Hey. So you hear a scream in your ears. You don't have to react in any specific way, and you don't fall down. You feel as if you just withstood something though, as if something really, really bad might have happened to your energy. And then you hear Molly scream in pain. And
Do I know where she is? Like, can I tell where she's at?
you're pretty sure she's in the street outside of the shop.
Yeah,
Jen,
so I'm
you
gonna I'm gonna tug on the rope really hard, hand it to Jen, and walk out the door.
Okay.
so Jen, BB saw this like sort of like a swoon almost. Like you thought just for a second Fisher was just, like going down, like, and then sort of like perks up again, hands you the rope, and heads out,
Yeah, I'm gonna pull on the rope pretty insistently.
like trying to set the hook. I mean, you're really
Yeah.
like
Right.
But also like trying to look outside to see if I can see what's going on that Fisher
Right.
ran out. So like rope in one arm, kind of trying to hold the door open with the other arm.
okay.
Kind of
So-
see what's going
Absolutely.
on.
Sure.
So Otis is going to take the hint from the rope and head up the stairs.
Okay.
Remember, still has gun.
Yes, still has gun, which
Still
might
has
be very
gun.
important in a minute.
Which I find somewhat reassuring, but also a little worrying at the same time, interestingly.
Otis doesn't care.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you get out, as Fisher gets out into the street, you see standing in the very middle of the street is Adam. He doesn't look like he used to look. He was so friendly looking, and he wore reading glasses, and he was,
It's
he
fine.
was
We'll take
like-
him down. Now
Yeah.
I'm mad.
And you see Molly is on the ground.
Oh boy.
And you see a stream of energy is going from her into his left forearm. Where
Fuck.
the wounds are.
Shit.
So I'm going to give everybody an initiative roll.
Sure.
You can find, let's see, I can just zoom through and tell you. You're going to roll your blood. So Stuart,
Oh,
you're going to roll
no.
5 dice.
Shit. Okay.
And you need
Ooh.
6s or lower. Jen, you roll 6 dice. And need 8s or lower. There you roll
3 dice, I think.
5 dice. No, oh yeah, you still have 2 scars. Oh, you roll 3 dice, and your target number is 5.
Oh, good.
And Casey, you roll 8 dice. Woo! And your target number is 3.
Sounds good.
And then report those, and I will build a little turn
So
order.
I had 3 successes, no 9s.
Okay.
4 successes.
Also 4.
I got 3. A 2, 2, and a 4.
Okay. Three. Okay. Excellent. So as things drop into that sort of bullet time, everything's got to happen in just second long increments, and everything gets really fast. Casey, you get to go first. All you've seen so far is that the rope has been tugged pretty hard a couple of times, and you see Stuart's character starting to run out of the cottage toward the stairs.
So he'll rush out. I'm not sure how far he gets or what, like how he crosses the threshold or anything like that. So
Yeah, the threshold does a similar thing to you as you leave. It sort of like freshens you up a little bit, and you feel nice and happy again. You're definitely clean. Not that you got real dirty in between entering and leaving, but you're good for the day. And you get all the way up the stairs. You were standing in the tattoo shop at the end of your turn, having spent your actions. Jen, you are next. Stuart is out the threshold by the time that this
Okay.
happens. So you can see him. He doesn't need the rope anymore
Okay.
to get you onto.
So I
You are
will,
tattoo parlor.
yeah, I'll drop that and run outside.
Okay.
And this is, can I tell what kind of magic he's doing to the little girl? Who frankly creeps me out so badly. I'm not sure I care if anything bad happens to her, but nevertheless.
So it's similar to the channeling that you've seen Cassidy do.
Okay.
It's definitely some sort of channeling. Do you take any actions, or do you?
Yes, I definitely take an action that will be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw some fire at him. Let's just do some
Oh,
elementalism.
yeah.
Let's just. Doesn't seem to be a day for subtlety.
No, not at all.
So,
So I guess the question becomes, how much fire?
right, I'm looking for my elementalism stuff in my packet. They're not. You know what? I wonder if I didn't print that because I added that after.
Maybe I have it here in front of me. Are you looking for just like a level 1 or
Oh
tier 1
no, here it is. Yeah, just like a shoot fire at a guy.
elemental bolt? Then
Yes, that's the one I want.
you're going to check your willpower plus elementalism, and the target number or the difficulty is going to be Adam's spirit.
And our elementalism is 1 because we're tier 1s.
Correct.
Oh, that dude probably has a lot of spirit.
Channelers tend to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great about this roll. I have a 2 and a 1.
That is not enough.
Hmm.
Do you have any 9s?
Nope. Nope.
That's good, because you really like, as fun as it is when people screw up their rolls with 9s on regular stuff, it's even more fun when it's on magic stuff.
Yeah, and probably even more fun when it's magic fire.
It's the most
I
fun.
think
Yeah.
we're all confident in the fact that I will at some point screw up some kind of fire and we can see what happens.
I mean, we can hope. I mean, that's really the goal. Okay, back to my next up. Leia, you're up.
All right. So, because I'm basically unflappable, I'm gonna walk out with large strides because I'm now pissed off, but not trying to show that, right? To say, Adam, we were just looking for you.
Trick or treat's almost over. She's not going to make it, is she?
I'd really prefer that you let her go.
Jake?
Return to me what was stolen, and I'll consider it.
You'll get it back if you let her go.
Is this a round of just talking, or are you going to throw an action in with your talking? Totally up to you.
I mean, I'll use convincing.
Yeah, go for it. You're going to roll 6 dice, and you're going to use social plus convincing is 2, so you're looking for 2s and under.
All right. So that's gonna be my lucky number today is 3. 1 9.
Okay. 3. Uh-oh. 3 is not enough. It normally would be, but he has a special defensey thing on.
Fine.
Luckily, it wasn't magic, so
Sure.
you just you're going to lose 1 voice point, but that's it.
Okay.
And Stuart, your character is up.
Okay, he's just demanded his stuff back.
Yes. Right now, you're in the tattoo parlor, so you don't know the official situation up there yet.
I didn't hear him demand his stuff back.
Nope. No, because you're still in the store and he's outside in the street.
I'm inclined to think that Otis will swagger out with the shotgun at the ready, but not necessarily aimed.
Okay.
To see what he does.
Yeah, that's a ballsy move. I like it. So
Although,
get out there, you see that the little girl that you've seen often work with your friend, the little girl Molly, is on the ground screaming in pain. As energy is like visibly pouring out of her and into this guy. It looks like he's doing some sort of channeling thing to
right.
Molly.
Okay, so I think draw down on the wolf guy and tell him to release the girl. In other words, point the gun at him and say, okay, let the girl go.
Yeah. So that you can basically put an action into place where you could have a triggering event. So like you can if you say that, you can be like, okay, if he doesn't let go, like when it's his turn to act, which
Right.
is actually right after your turn, if he
Mhm.
doesn't let her go immediately, I will pull the trigger.
Right.
So that's like a definite declaration that you will shoot if he doesn't. Or
Yeah.
you could just be saying it and sort of bluffing and then decide to shoot later on your turn.
Okay, I'm going to go with the bluff option there.
Okay. Um, so he sort of snarls at you and says, "That's my gun." And then he rolls a thing. And yeah, your willpower is 3. Okay. Okay. So Molly screams again in sort of renewed pain. And Fisher Pope, you've been doomed by fate your whole life or ever since you made this deal. And you feel like this guy sort of just called those chips in somehow. He was like,
Sure,
whatever
absolutely.
he's doing is like, yeah, fate, you don't like this one anyway, so I'm gonna summon this down on you. You are going to take and you instantly know what he's doing here. He's not using Molly's power at all. He's basically just using Molly as a really solid connection to you to make it easier to do magic on you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is a horrible thing to do and will leave lots of bad taste in his mouth because she's an infernal spirit. And he didn't know that. He thought she was just a spirit. Um, however, you are about to take 7 voice scars.
Scars.
Yes, but it doesn't ignore threshold, and you have a threshold of 3. So you take 4 scars to your voice as fate just like slams down on you. Just
Mm.
all of the magical missteps that you've ever made sort of like are just revisited back upon you for a moment.
Oh, did we lose Stuart?
The
Oh,
fate is so
Stuart's
powerful that it breaks Discord connections. It's
Right.
Absolutely. Okay, I have a question. Oh, never mind. I'm reading it right now. I can't like call on my packed connection at all, right?
well, anytime you do that, you can um you can make another promise because you have a minion that can allow you to do that.
Hmm.
Because your pact has 3 empty rewards on it. So you can basically have 3 favors. Now those are meant to usually be increase your trait or gain some lore or gain some power, but it can be for other stuff too, like things that are like above and beyond. It can be so you could theoretically do that, but it's not just calling upon it, it's making more promise.
Yeah, well, so what does that look like? That looks like more corruption, right?
Yeah,
And
you definitely take another point of you take a point of permanent corruption to your soul.
which does what again? I'm sorry.
Well, right now, it's not doing anything to you because your soul is only 7. Um, it's meaning if you took that second point, because you already have 1, if you took that second point, your soul would never go above 7. And
Mm.
when you take another point, it'll go down to 6, being your maximum, so you'll actually lose some soul.
But hey, it's a short-term campaign, so
And this
Right.
one's sort of creepy because you don't have the 8th soul point anyway.
Right, yeah. All right, so I have a okay. So we are, you know what? Actually, just fuck it. This is what he would do. So we're just gonna do it. And you're right, we're in a short campaign, so who cares? Um I don't know if this is too much to ask. So like if it is, Fisher knows the rules, Leia does not. Um
Okay.
however, Fisher would absolutely want this guy, every action he takes, to be cursed, and for his world and that fucking carpet to be gone. Just break down right now. Like, um,
So I think you'd have to pick one of those two
one of
things.
those
Like,
two things.
Do you want to try to curse
Cool.
his actions, or do you
My
want to like wreck
my
his carpet?
minion will, like, if she dissipates, she'll come back after like the next midnight, right?
Yeah, you have an hour long summoning spell that you use to bring her back.
Okay,
Um, and
I can
let's
do that.
see, yep, it would have to be till the next midnight.
That's okay. Um, yeah. So anyway, this is how I imagine this goes.
Yeah.
Like, just a for everyone there. It's not my turn, so I can't do anything. Never mind. I'm waiting.
Okay.
I was. The
So
energy of
Casey,
corruption is increasing.
yes, corruption is increasing definitely. Casey, you're up. I think we have one more round today before we leave us.
Oh
So
my
Casey,
God.
So you
you're
said that he was in the tattoo parlor. Is he inside or like at the door? Like
up.
what is he aware
They're
of?
actually on the street. They're on the street now.
So he would have heard all of that. Is giving
Yes.
my stuff
Oh,
back. Okay.
no, your character
Oh
is
yeah,
in.
you.
Yeah, sorry.
So then Cassidy is going to do two things. One, he has +2 to he has innocent appearance. So he has +2 to target numbers to convince innocent, and then with enchantment, he has a trick after speaking a few words to the target. The target is fooled into believing one reasonably believable thing is true. And
Okay.
so he's going to try and pull, nothing was stolen, we were protecting it.
Yeah.
Trying to, say that Otis took it because there was a suspicious figure lurking around.
Yeah. So give me a check of social plus enchantment.
Okay, so that'll be 4. That's good. That's 3 successes because I used the voice pillar for that, right?
Yes, social
Okay,
is voice.
so that is 3 successes.
That is lucky. That is
Oh wait,
exactly how many.
no, hold on. It'd be 4 successes because he has +2 to deceive, or +2 to the target number to prove that they're innocent. Unless this doesn't apply in this case.
That could apply. I'm
Okay.
cool with that. Um. Okay, so you um the magic like washes over him, and he looks convinced um of something. Um, you think that he believes you, but we'll see what happens in his turn. Jen, BB, what are you doing? I mean, you know Cassidy well enough to know that Cassidy's trying to put the whammy on him and convince him that this isn't a big deal. That no harm, no foul. You weren't stealing.
Right. I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna see if Cassidy's bullshittery takes effect or not. I don't want to like attack him again and then mess with the chance of that working. So I'm just gonna hold until we see if
Cool.
that works.
Yeah, that brings Fisher Pope up. What you gonna do as the corruption intensifies? I need to make a meme for this.
Oh shit, I am muted. I will also wait. That
I'm
being
actually
said,
shocked that you are.
I
that being
know.
said, his face starts to look feral. Like, so we are like, but we're doing that. I, if he
Okay.
doesn't let her go, like,
Okay. So Stuart, it is up to you.
I'm keeping my beat on the dude, but not pulling trigger. So I'm
Okay.
also waiting.
Yeah. So, here's Adam's response to Cassidy's trick. Um, he says, "I hold you all innocent, and that's fine, but walking among you here is something worse than a djinn and something worse than a fae." And he points at Fisher Pope. Says, I name you devil worshipper.
Oh
I
my
name you
God.
infernalist. I name you crossroads keeper.
Oh, is
And
that
then he
your real
kills
name?
Molly.
And then kills Molly?
Yeah. Now you know, being the crossroads keeper, that Molly will reform for you after midnight. All you have to do.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
she screams in pain, and he uses his channeling abilities just to dissipate her completely.
Absolutely.
He also, you would know this for sure better than anybody else, but he definitely now has a whole bunch of mana to use on his next action because he just like consumed a spirit basically, and
Sure.
so we go to the top of the order, and I think actually we went through that round so fast because everybody was holding their actions that it is safe to get through another one before 4. So Casey, shit is
Um,
getting real. Molly is screamed and gone, and y'all are in the streets with Adam.
Do y'all
so
He's
know I'm a
willing to let you
crossroads?
go, though. He's willing to let you go.
Do y'all know I'm a crossroads? And does anyone have a problem with that?
Cassidy does
I-
not know. He also
We did
doesn't
not
care.
know. Yeah.
Okay.
I think what Cassidy's gonna try and do is like, I mean, he's willing to do with whatever the party does, but like right now, he's just like they made a deal essentially, and he's worried about the Fae more so than anything else. So he's just going to cross the street with his arm extended, like to shake hands as if to like make peace. The party would
Yeah,
know that he's absolutely willing to start punching if they decide to do stuff, but he's not going to be the one to start that combat.
awesome. Okay, BB, you see Cassidy like
Yeah. I'm going to
approaching
run into the
peaceful.
shop, um, roll that carpet right back on up and stuff it back into that big old duffel.
Okay,
Put the chain back in, however much I can get done with this in one turn, and like
yeah,
drag the bag out the door and into the street. I want
okay.
this in my store. I don't want it in my life.
If you want to spend your entire turn on it, you could get the carpet in it and throw the thing out and leave the chain. I mean, it seems
Okay. I mean, the
way
carpet's
less
obviously what he's
important.
stressing about, so I'll just like get that much out onto the street.
Yeah. Okay, Fisher Pope, what you gonna do?
This one's so personal, Leia.
What's Fisher gonna do?
I support whatever decision you make.
I know that. I know that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Never really understood why people are so afraid of this magic. It does so much.
Oh God.
That's it. He'll talk at this guy
Mhm.
because like but like again it is very obvious that he's willing to like he's gonna throw hands when he needs to.
Okay.
Cause
But
also he's got 4 scars.
you've taken the
Right.
deal, right? You've agreed to the resolution of the conflict, so we're we're being held innocent. Is that
Mhm.
that what you're doing?
Wait, sorry. Leia got
So
confused. What?
so yeah, so above table.
Mhm.
Wolf guy is saying we'll be held innocent because the bullshittery worked.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
think so.
so you're basically de-escalating and saying, yeah, okay, right. So we'll let that go there. Right?
So above table, I mean, he found us innocent of the
The
crime that
theft.
he
Yeah.
of the theft.
Right.
However, also through a gauntlet
About
Right.
who?
about who I am as a crossroads
Right.
keeper.
Right.
So like he is not de-escalating or escalating the situation. He is
Right.
keeping it at exactly the amount of tension that it was before.
Gotcha.
Uh, right?
But
So like, if
And
but
y'all
then
it
Fisher did
to
the same,
de-escalate,
right?
it
what?
avoids the outbreak of hostilities, is what I'm saying.
Currently, yes.
Yeah.
He will not, if you all decide not to have hostilities and this guy is not going to attack him right now because of who he is and what he does,
Mhm.
then he will do then for now, we are fine. That being said, Fisher will do something about this later. But
Yep.
like right now,
Right.
like
Right now, it's just so tense.
Yeah.
And,
but
and
anyway,
then
yeah, that's
Fisher
the
came
above
along, and Fisher
table.
was like, "You're not going to lower the tension. I am also not going to raise or lower the tension."
Yeah.
We all just kind of like stew in this tension.
Right,
We
yeah.
all just
Okay.
kind of sit in
So, Stuart, do you raise or lower the tension?
it.
Otis thinks about it, has a good hard look at Fisher, who now looks rather different than Fisher did before because Otis is processing what's just been revealed.
Yeah.
After a beat or two, comes to the rough conclusion that everybody's a keeper, so and it's that allegiance that matters. So gun down. We don't have the bag out yet, do we?
No, it's in the
Coming
street.
onto the street.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
bag is
Lays gun on carpet.
Okay.
Okay.
BB is
Okay.
currently getting that shit out of her store.
Yeah. She's
Which
going
is-
back in for the chain now.
Yeah, she's going back in for the chain. Just get it all out. It's all out here.
Okay.
Not my
Okay.
store.
So, Adam has all this mana up in him, and he focuses it on one attack on Fisher Pope, the Infernal.
Now,
Okay.
according to initiative, can we do anything, or have we all done our
No,
bit?
we've all done it. We've all done it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all announced like we
Okay.
didn't do readied actions. Like I didn't announce
Yeah.
that Cassidy would do a readied action if he was hostile. So he's
It's okay.
just
Well, it's
But
gonna be
he,
fine. If
on the
Fisher
bright
dies,
side,
Fisher dies here. Yeah, you
on the
know.
bright side, he's right there, so he could turn that handshake into a punch. Next
Yeah.
turn.
Absolutely.
Very easily.
Do I have any defenses against this? I don't know.
Fisher, what's your spirit?
I actually
Five.
don't know.
Good.
Wait, hold on. My spirit? Oh, 3.
3. That's good.
Yeah. Look, I focused on defense for this character, okay?
Yes, you did.
This is what the whole point is that he can stay standing no matter what you throw at him.
Well, that was clearly a good plan. That was foresight.
So I'm looking at your abjuration right now, and he beat you. He beat it by 3, and you have enough stuff that you could make it. If it only beat it by 2, you could have fixed it. You could have defended it away.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's
Let's
the
go.
most you can do.
Yeah,
So
let's
he
go.
beat it by 3, and so you see the magic. Everybody sees the magical energy sort of pour back out of those scars that he had brought the energy into him with, and you see it smash into Fisher Pope, who takes a knee
Does he
from
have
the
to?
weight of it.
Does he have to?
Um,
Based on my stuff, does he have to? Can he
well,
just take it and look like he hasn't taken anything? Can I call
so
upon Deadpan to look this man directly in the face, unfucking moving while he does this? Because
yes,
I want
and see
to
what he does.
so much.
However,
The power of deadpan.
yeah, you don't have to take the knee. That was drama. You don't have to take the knee.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, you did just age 60 years.
No.
I mean, look, he probably looks real good for a 90-year-old.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Now there are
you
no
know,
game stat changes to
sure,
that. Like you don't automatically lose blood points as you get older and gain wisdom points or anything. But
sure.
you do. I mean, you are suddenly 60 years older than you were a minute ago.
Do I
Didn't
have
And
any?
Fisher start out the game as a 5-year-old though? So
so you're just 65 now.
Fisher was an infant when we started the game.
If yeah, Fisher was actually a child, no one
Yeah.
knew it, but he was actually a child.
Yeah.
No,
He's an elf. Fine.
No, that's fine. Um,
And that it's 4 o'clock, and I think that's the perfect end where you are standing your ground against this guy who just pours this magical energy in you, and he ages the shit out of you.
We're gonna
That's
kick his
cool.
ass next game for sure.
Right. We're
Yeah.
holding this mid shot basically. So
Do you
this
Yep.
still
Yeah,
have
we
that
are.
yeah.
gun?
We're holding
Oh,
this.
no. Otis, put the gun down. Pick the gun back up.
Yeah.
Pick the gun back
Yeah,
up.
well that may be Otis's next move, but I think that's on the next turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's okay. We're gonna do some corruption of soul, and it's gonna be great. This guy is gonna get his ass handed to him. It's gonna be a
And I'm
fun
figuring that a
time.
crossroads critter like you is probably regenerable in some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm
I'm
also
sure.
thinking of is if we are able to beat the shit out of him, we go into his nice little refresh zone and like make Fisher run back and forth a few times to hopefully heal up a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, this didn't do any stat changes, right? It didn't
I don't know.
so it didn't like take away any soul or anything. It just aged me.
When you get to, I don't know if it fixes scars, but at least it fixes up like points that you spent.
Yeah, absolutely. I could absolutely get the one voice point that I had taken care of.
Now,
So
Paul, just in our constant struggle to get everything into the book that someone needs to GM this game, was
Yeah.
that result of aging Fisher 30 years? Is that like something you had to sort of make up in the moment, or is that like in the rules in the book?
It's a power called Aging
Oh,
Breath.
oh.
It's a chronomancy power. It's a level 3, so it cost him a lot to do it. But basically, he checked a thing. He had enough successes that it would have aged that many years. It does, instead of damage, it does age in decades basically. So he could have done 120, or he could have done 120 years, but based on the defenses that Leia's character had, it was only 60. So theoretically, if Leia hadn't been built for defense,
I would be
suddenly
dust.
been 120 years older. Um, but this way, 60 years is, you can handle that. You're just old.
Honestly, Fisher does not care about
Yeah.
the aging. This is like his looks are does not his thing. He does not care. He likes like to be mysterious. But like now he's
Right.
old, it's even more mysterious. It can be even more mysterious.
Mysterious. Yeah.
he's just got hips though, right? I mean, he's got bad hips. It's like,
Right. Right.
like the first step you take, you're gonna know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean
He's
that
mysterious because he
depends.
needs to eat dinner at 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, I mean this
Yep.
depends. It just depends on like how Fisher would have aged. Which first of all, he would have been dead by 65 anyway. Never would have experienced
Right.
where he is right now. And secondly, is extremely like into the health and shit.
Yeah.
He's like, I will be as strong as I can. Hence his stats. Um,
So in theory, you could actually use this as a narrative way to buy some limits, or to allow yourself to take some limits if you wanted. You don't have to. But like, right, like you could like pick like a limit where you reduce a trait or something and be like, I was
Sure.
aged this violently and it happened to me. And that's narratively a way to do that, but it's not required at all.
sure.
And there's nothing. I mean, basically, you are exactly as your character was before he did that, except that you're older, and if he does it to you again, and even
Oh,
if he gets the same
he's
level of
not.
success, like this would be a problem. Yeah, I
He's
don't see
not
him
gonna
losing
have another chance to do this. And even if he does, and I die, he's not gonna go away with the things he needs in his life to survive. So it won't matter. Either way, he's getting boned.
We're gonna stop the dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
awesome.
um,
So think about it for next time we play, like how you want to destroy this guy, and yeah,
destroy him.
awesome.
Well, Paul, thank you so much for running. This was lovely.
Yes.
Are we still
Indeed.
streaming?
It was fun. Yeah, we are still streaming. I'm gonna stop
Okay.
now.
Yeah.